everyone. Welcome to this new edition of the India Insurtech podcast. Today we have with us Dr. Sandeep Dadia, who's the CEO and country head India for Lockton. Dr. Dadia is a respected leader in the insurance space, and today we'll be diving into a fascinating topic, which is my leadership journey with 5S. Dr. Dadia, welcome to the podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. And thanks for Indian Insurtech Association for giving me the opportunity to express my opinion.
That's fantastic. All right. So before we dive into today's topic, I'd like to begin by requesting if you could tell us a little bit about your journey in the insurance industry and what led you to your current role at Lockton India.
Yeah, so I think journey has been very fascinating, and on the hindsight, actually, when I actually recollect, it's been very beautiful in terms of the kind of churn life has given me, and the kind of learnings the life has actually given me has been phenomenal. And I would only say it's priceless. So I mean, it's the experience which has taught me what I am today. So and of course, thanks to Almighty, who has actually always gracefully made me pass through every small or large challenges, and of course with flying colors and success. Having said that, in fact, I don't know how many of you all are aware. I was a medical professional, a practicing doctor till 2006. So till 2003 to 2006, I was from the TPA industry, and prior to that, I had 10 years of medical practice. So as a doctor, I opened up my first clinic, my second clinic, my third clinic, then my dental clinic and a small path lab as well. Doing very well as a doctor, but of course that thrill of, and that time there was a power that I want to travel, I want to be, of course it was that time, now travel is as boring as it is. So, but yes, that time there was a feel of power that I'll be traveling here and I'll have hundreds of people working with me. So that actually gave me a lot of kick. And while I was thinking, and I do believe in power of imagination, and while I was thinking it so positively, that time TTK approached me that, look, we need a medical professional to guide us on insurance claim in health. And they were a TPA. I neither knew insurance, neither knew claims. So, nothing, everything was like a Greek and Latin to me. And that's where actually I took that plan and said, okay, I'll join you for sure. I learned the tricks of the trade in 6 months and actually then became quite senior in TTK world itself. In 5 years from then, I thought, TPA is more of a commoditized business because it's more of processing. And I want to move towards a knowledge-based industry. And that's where continuing the journey in the insurance sector, I thought broking is a better word for me. And then that time I approached the promoters of Enam, a very reputed firm and reputed promoters, and started my journey with them in insurance broking. I could sell that business in 5 years to Aditya Birla, and that's where my journey in Aditya Birla began. Overall profits was from almost 1 crore, 50 lakh to 1 crore. And when I left, it was PBT of 99.5 crores or so nearly 100 crores. So 100 times profit growth in 12 years, which I was being able to achieve in Aditya Birla. Of course, that company got successfully sold to a private equity firm. And that's where I moved out and joined Lockton. My conversation with Lockton also was very simple. When I joined Lockton, they wanted somebody for India. And they were waiting since many years for the right person and the right team. And they could find one. I was also waiting for the right promoters to actually who understand insurance broking much better because that's their domain, that's the domain expertise. And Lockton having a global reach in nearly 140 odd countries. And it's perpetually private company. So it's the largest independent broker in the world, which means we don't have pressures from the shareholders in terms of delivering returns on a quarterly basis. We can take our own calls, which are much faster than any of the listed companies or held by the people who want to create a market cap. So that's where the journey and the right fit happened between both of us, and we started the journey. And again, I would say God has been very kind. In last 1 year, we've been able to achieve what probably very few would have achieved in terms of license clearance from the regulator, in terms of the office setup, in terms of people, in terms of recruitment, in terms of systems, IT, processes. Everything has just fallen in place. And You can't imagine the quantum of work which has gone in last 1 year is phenomenal. Probably it's a 3-4 years work which we have been able to do in last 1 year. Again, I'm saying purely because of the team which I have. So I can only guide them. I can be providing them all the support. Of course, I'm involved in all the processes. But at the same time, it's a team also who has delivered along with me. So full credit to my team who has actually supported me in this entire endeavor. We're going to start in India, 7 locations to begin with. The usual suspects, of course, the New Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, small branch in Ahmedabad, Gift City, and
Oh,
yeah. So Mumbai itself is going to be headquartered as well as the location to transact business. So at 7 locations, we are going to be there. We have already got teams in most of the locations. You can't imagine the brand Lockton as well as the team, what we are able to attract, the way and the quantum of talent, which has been like a dream come true for a broking industry. Talent is a big scarcity in broking, and the quantum of talent and the quality of talent we've been able to attract is phenomenal. So that is actually
okay.
gave us a good impetus, a good lead in terms of what we want to do for the market, what we want to add value to the Indian market. Lockton globally is very well known for its specialty business, for their client centricity approach, for do what is best for the client, and the success
Right.
follows. And coincidentally, our team here also believes in the same philosophy, and now we have completely molded ourselves to Lockton philosophy of themselves. But let me assure you, there's nothing which is materially different between the existing culture and the philosophy, what we are believing in and what Lockton also has it. So I think it's been a great marriage of culture. It's a great company to work with because their philosophies and principles are very sound. Yeah, so this
Wow.
has been the
Okay.
journey to Lockton, and I hope to continue in the next 5 years. We want to add value to the market. We want to add a lot of smart capacities to the market, some new products, new ways to service market, the risk protection. And we want to actually transform the market in their thought process, at least our clients, if not the entire market. Basically, most of the people in India are so conscious about premium that all of them are looking at cost of premium. And we actually believe in cost of risk, the total cost of risk, TCOR we call it as. So total cost of the risk is the concept we want to introduce in the country, which means, premium is only a small part of the cost of risk. There are so many other things involved like claims, IT, services, delays in claim settlement, the capacity, risk management, of course, first and foremost. So many of these things are involved. And anything which is falling apart at some place, the T-core value goes up and, client tends to lose.
Right.
So
Right.
the right and the like-minded people will definitely join us in our growth journey. The right-minded customers also would want to join us. And here
Right.
is the broker who's actually talking not just price. Price, of course, is given. We are not going to be the most expensive, not at all. But at
Right.
the same time, we want to add quality to the market. So we want to add quality to the insurance and the risk portfolio. We want to add quality to the risk management by the right kind of risk protection covers.
Right. I think that's really interesting, and the growth is phenomenal, right? In the last 1 year, what you've been able to achieve, and I think Dr. Dadia, leadership means different things to different people. Uh, I'd love to know in the last 1 year, or in the course of your journey, right? How would you personally define leadership? What philosophies have guided you in your approach over the years?
So there are many of the concepts of leadership, and there are many leaderships which have been talked about. My belief is only one: leadership is all about how we are able to gel together as a team. It's teamwork, it's hard work, it's sincerity. It's all about creating or enabling the people to function in the company. And those who will match this philosophy will join us. And of course, those who are absolute and individual player usually may not find it very suitable when it comes to a team play. So, and that's the reason, the team, we are here together and we are actually looking at the teams which have the same culture. So we believe in that. One more thing I would like to add, there is no much difference between leadership and spirituality. So, in fact, before talking to you and before coming on this call, I was just mentioning about if you ask me something about leadership, what am I going to reply? And believe me, I've just spontaneously written 5S principles, when Neha and I were discussing 5 minutes earlier, that what is it that we should be talking about if they ask about it. So I've just mentioned those 5S. So, it's leadership is, of course, about success. So, the 5S principle begins with success. So, what is that formula of success? Get the right team,
Yeah.
get the right culture, get the right people who want to work for a team. There has to be a sense of ownership. There has to be a sense of responsibility. There has to be a sense of performance, of productivity,
Yeah.
and helping nature of each other to actually get the team, ahead of the competition, because it's a very it's a highly competitive market. Second
Right.
thing, what success also doesn't come easily. There is always hard work which has to go, and all of us, inclusive of the shareholders, inclusive of the team, have taken that plunge. We have taken a challenging zone. We've entered a market after a long time, and which is, and that's the reason there has been a change. And as someone wise person who has said, change is the only constant. But we do believe that that change also will change. And expecting comfort outside the comfort zone, that's something which is not real. So we do know there are going to be challenges. We do know there are going to be uphill tasks, but we are all prepared to take any challenges and head on. So it's not
Yeah.
something that we are scared of any challenges, and there will be challenges, I'm sure. And what I'm talking about as a hindsight of last 1 year, I'm sure you would realize there has been hundreds of challenges, but all of them we
100%.
have actually overcome. And right from no office,
Yeah.
I was sitting in the club to an office which is 16,000 square feet, and three locations in India already began, with the team. So four locations. So that's been the
Mhm.
journey.
Wow.
So
Okay.
first is the success, and there are
Success.
multiple recipes to success. It requires the right kind of strategy. We call it one more S. So first is success. Second is a strategy. And what I mean by strategy is the roadmap. What is it that we want to do? And I would like to believe that, when others think of next 1 quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, we want to talk about the next 20 quarters. What is it that we want to achieve? Of course, it's a regulated industry. It's an industry which is dependent on multiple global factors as well.
Correct.
Having said that, I would just like to make a statement here. Our purpose remains constant. The process to achieve that purpose may change.
Right.
So we are determined we want to achieve what we want to achieve. If industry has tailwinds, we may achieve it in 5 years. If it has headwinds, we may achieve it in 7 years. But the goal does not change. The goalpost may get a little bit extended, which is fine with us. So that is where we believe in. That is what we believe in. Now, what are the components which is required to actually manage their success? And the third S is sustainability, what I'm talking about. So, success is far more easier than sustaining the success. That
Right.
sustainability of the, because we may reach amongst top 5 or top 10, but to manage and maintain that position of top 10 or top 5 or top whatever it is, that is going to be changing. That is going to be challenging. We want to
Right.
sustain that success. So we don't want to take any short-term approach. And our approach is, of course, certain calls need to be taken as short-term, but it's a combination of short-term and long-term, and which
Long term.
short-term approach also is going to help us in our long-term, is where we define
Right.
our the path ahead. We believe a lot in technology. So sustainability of success is, one of the major component is technology. And as I was just mentioning, and I just wrote one statement yesterday, which intrigued me as myself as well. Basically, the only alternate to a technology is technology. So only a technology can replace a technology, and nothing else can.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
broker who is away from the technology for one wave is behind the market by 5 years. And if he has
Right.
missed the second wave, I believe he's going to be out of business. He or she.
Wow.
They're
Okay.
going to be completely out of business. 5 years was a term which I made it 3, 4 years back, which I realized it. Now it's now so rapid, 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
So I think one has to be agile in terms of its success. I mean, we have to be thinking of what the people think about us. We have to be innovative, and we have to be disrupting the market and not get disrupted. So we
Correct.
want to introduce certain new age technologies, and which probably people would have not heard of. We are trying that on commercial lines, and I'm of the belief that end of month, February, we should be able to launch it in the market. It's a very new concept. It's a very new technology where what you see it on the retail side, similar seamlessness will be seen on the commercial line side.
Oh,
So that's the entire concept of what we are bringing in, and of course, it's a combination of many technologies. So right from client-facing tools to the internal tools to the back-end to the servicing tools. The fourth, as I would like to believe, is in servicing. And here, when I'm saying servicing, it's right from giving the right consulting to the client, to the policy servicing, to the claim servicing, everything which is related to the client. And if given a chance and choice, I would place servicing as number one.
at the
So,
top.
and the
Yeah.
remaining will follow. So, we are existing because we have clients. We don't exist if there is no client. And for us, if client is happy, we are happier. As simple as
Right.
that, because in Lockton philosophy also, one has to do what is right for the client. And we are of a firm belief that if you do right for the clients, the revenue follows. And we may
Yeah.
not be the lowest priced broker in the market, but still the client will come to us because we want to give the right advice, we want to give the right services, and that's where our personal equity of individuals as well as Lockton India and Lockton World globally, we all believe in servicing the client and the best services to the client. So I do believe that this will take us a long way for sustainability. So all these five S's are interrelated. One of the S which I would want to talk about is sincerity of doing anything what we are doing. So if somebody is
Yeah.
saying that I'm coming for a job and my role is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., I mean, not the right approach as per my personal belief. The right approach is there is no time limit for here. And I'm not saying those 90 hours work and 90 days and all. What I'm only saying is give me those 8 hours dedicated per day for the just next 5 days in a week. I don't think anything else is expected from anyone. But those 8 hours with a lot of sincerity, the right kind of hard work, and that's it. And if those 8 hours are done productively, I think success is inevitable for us. So, I mean, of course, there are a lot of qualities which you are talking about. And, sincerity would also mean discipline, and which would
Correct.
mean that we are a regulated industry. So anything which is beyond regulation, we will never do it. Anything which is bypassing regulation, we will never do it. And you can imagine now, this insurance, which is retail insurance or direct insurance, which is India regulated. Reinsurance, there are multiple global regulations also get they impact us, which would mean we have to be aware of what we are doing because repercussions or the ripple effect is far higher. So
Correct.
we need to
Yeah.
be highly disciplined, and that's where I meant what it means to have sincerity. So each of the five S covers everything what is required as a recipe for success for us to be sustainable in the market. So that's where I
Right.
do believe that each and every person has to be having that alignment, the goals which needs to be aligned. There can be only one driver in a company. There can't be 10 drivers driving a company.
Right.
Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody wants to have their say, which is absolutely fine with us. We do respect each and every opinion. But finally, collective intelligence decides where we want to move ahead. So
Correct.
that's the entire concept we want to move ahead with.
Wow. That's a really inspiring philosophy. I think it makes a lot of sense as well. No, I also want to know from you from a perspective of your key priorities for Lockton India from an area of growth, innovation, transformation. You did mention the technology part that you're going to be launching soon, but I want to understand at a broad level, what do you see as the key priorities for Lockton India now moving forward in the next, say, 1 year, 2 years? Is it just going to be business? Or it's going to be something else?
So it's going to be team and the business. There is not there is no third thought. If there is a right
Right.
team, there is going to be business.
Correct.
Insurance broking is all about team. So if we
Correct.
need to have the right kind of people, and as I said, people means culture. So we want the people with the same culture. We want the people who are sincere, and what I just spoke about in the last 10, 15 minutes. So these are the so people and team, people and business is something which we do believe, and they are both are interlinked.
Good. Okay, understood. All right. And
And we don't buy revenues. We don't buy
of
revenues. So
course,
we are not into the game of investing huge amounts into buying out companies. We would rather invest into the right people who will bring us revenues.
right.
And as
Okay.
per the Lockton promoters and founders have said, For us, one quarter would mean 25 years. It's not 3 months. So it's quarter of a century, what we call it as a quarter. We want to be, having that long-term vision for us. And there are enough incentives which we are trying to create for our people so that, first comes the client, the first share of the pie goes to the client. Second share of the pie goes to the employees. And third one, what is left behind? Shareholders take it. And they've given us enough time for us to become profitable.
Brilliant. All right. From a macro perspective, where do you see, obviously you've entered into a highly competitive space. From an industry-wide macro perspective, where do you see insurance moving? What are those key factors that you see changing over the course of the next,
Yeah.
maybe even half a decade for that matter? Yeah.
Yeah. So let me just give you what is our perspective of competition and what we see as the marketplace where we are actually functioning.
Right.
So if you ask me, do you have an intention to become the biggest? I don't think so. But if you become biggest, I have no objection, of course. But that's not the intent. But yes, be relevant player in the market, be significant player in the market. So if you ask me, what is the choice between you want to be the best or the biggest? I want to be the best because the best has the potential to become biggest. Vice versa may not be true.
Right.
So we want to be the best in the market by providing the best services. Having said that, insurance industry for the next 5 years, 10 years, I think it's only growth, growth, and growth. See, the regulator, the way they are supporting the industry, I think it's phenomenal. And one can't go wrong if you enter India. The economy, the macros are doing well. The insurance regulator is doing extremely well to be tying up their vision with the macro goals of the country. And any country which is growing, at an X percentage, usually insurance grows double the pace of the country's growth. Of course, you may not see the absolute number coming that way because there are multiple factors beyond growth is because the premiums may soften. So actual growth would have shown has gone down, but the total sum insured by the country is increasing year on year and with a significant pace. So I think we are in the economy where in the next 10 years, people are going to be making a lot of money. There is a huge success potential for all of us. Now we need to encash it. So country will be successful, industry will be successful, and we would want to be aligned to the philosophy of the country and the industry. We can't go wrong.
Wow, that's a great philosophy.
I'll give you certain data. I think India took nearly 75 years on to reach 3.5 trillion economy. But now if you go to see in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll be reaching $7 trillion of economy. So
Right.
what work has been done in last 75 years will be completed in the next 5 to 10 years. And it
Correct.
is, in our age and lifespan, we are seeing this phase of golden phase of India. One needs to remain invested, one needs to remain strategic to actually ride the boom of what India is trying to do. I can talk about certain large macro factors on the economy as well. I'm not an economist, but yes, I do have a lot of interest because it does affect us, it does impact us. So we keep reading. So I think the country is in the right phase of growth. Just remain invested.
Got it. Okay. I think these are some great learnings that you've shared with us. The philosophy, again, is something that I personally and our viewers are going to be really inspired by. So thanks a lot for your time, Dr. Daria, for doing the podcast with us. And we're all rooting for you in the India Insurtech Association. And we look forward to seeing your growth and success over the coming years.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we do look forward to the same. Pretty hopeful we should be able to achieve it. Success and sustainable success.
Yes, that's a great takeaway. Thanks a lot, Dr. Daria, for this.